Good morning, Vietnam. Steve, K1GMM, Vermont. How's it going, guys? We're just gonna knock around on 40. See who's skipping to my loo, and see if maybe Brian, my friend Brian, K2MKI is around. Jared, maybe we can even do a contact if you're watching. I don't know. Just sitting. This is really casual. Just gonna kick back and knock around. How's it going, Martin? Boy, you guys are like, you guys are right on it. How's it going, Glenn? Yeah, no kidding. I'm bored. I'm bored, can't you tell? I figured I'd. I don't know. I don't think there'll be a lot of entertainment, but hey, whatever. Let me do some shuffling with the windows here, and I'll get the chat over on the other screen so I can keep tabs on you animals. And sorry about the audio yesterday. Boy, I really had that screwed up. So let me know if everything sounds okay today. Should be. I had the, when I got in close to the microphone, I noticed that the preamp was clipping big time. So, Jerry, good morning. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Pretty uneventful here. I guess there's a contest going in the Netherlands, which I thought about trying to work some of that, but I'm not in the mood. Yeah, good, Martin. It's tough keeping track of everything here. I fussed with changing some of the audio paths to the stream because I'm using the same audio system that I use on the radio to provide audio to the stream. So some of the gear has multiple outputs. So trying to figure out the best place to take the output, and I'm running a compressor limiter on the stream, on the audio on the stream. So I didn't have that quite dialed in good enough, I don't think. New Jersey today. In New Jersey? AP2FLY, good morning. What are you doing in New Jersey? You picking up a new radio? Just curious anyways. I'll get everything up and going here and see what's going on. Stick her into the loopy-doo. And I probably should put on headphones. Hey, you guys, if I'm not wearing headphones, do you notice like a weird echo effect on the audio from the transceiver? Because the speakers puke out the audio and it bleeds into the microphone I'm using. Normally, and I have it direct as well. It's a directly injected audio from the computer to the stream off of SDR console. So I'm just curious if you ever get annoyed with like an echo or anything like that. But Randy, good morning. Boy, it's early for you, dude. What are you doing up at this hour? So anyways, if you do hear the echo, let me know on the stream because I'll go ahead and put the headphones on, but I just hate wearing headphones. Very cool. I hope you enjoy your stay. And I heard that there is a winter storm coming. I guess we're going to get clipped pretty good. Maybe Tuesday and Wednesday with the dusting tomorrow. So unfortunately, my 40-meter array is just barely hung in the tree. I couldn't get the line where I wanted it yesterday when I put it back up, put up the southwest corner after it broke. So I'm thinking tomorrow, maybe later today, I'm going to go out and I'm going to try and restring that and get that into it's kind of a branch. It's just hanging on a branch. It's not actually in the notch. So that's going to be a problem. If we get any big wind, it's going to come down again. So, okay, the echo you will hear when I get the HF online. So, we'll light it up and see what happens here. I'll check to see if this frequency is clear. Is this frequency in use? is this frequency in use, K1GMM.
No, go ahead, K2RKB.
Hey, what's going on, Rich? How the heck are you? I had a feeling you were knocking around in here. It's been quiet. Good morning, over.
Yeah, good morning, good morning. I was just walking away, but it was quiet, but you're booming in. How copy?
Yeah, man, you're 25 over. You're killing it as usual. What are you up to this morning? Yeah, it's still morning. How's your weekend been going, over?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, temperature dropped. We were about 12 wind chill last night. At least the sun's shining. Say we might get a little dust and a couple inches of snow, but who knows?
Yeah, I was just mentioning to the guys on the stream, what's coming. Rick, my friend Rick, K2GB, was just telling me about an hour ago that he said I'm not going to like what's coming. We supposed to get some kind of storm. What is it, Tuesday and Wednesday? I haven't looked yet, but that was kind of through the grapevine. Over.
Yeah, same scenario as the last one. We could get it. We're going to get just the tail end of it, but yeah, it's all going to go north. It's going to start tonight, I think. Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. Yep.
You hear anything else from the Goon Squad this morning? I don't know if Brian's been in here. I've been listening here for about a half hour. Really haven't heard that much, over.
Yeah, I came in late. I just got in here. He might have been here and left. But, yeah, I think the other ones, they all took off. But it's pretty quiet. But the band seems to be open.
Yeah, it's in pretty good shape. Fairly quiet here, though. Hey, when you're mobile, I've caught you a couple times mobile. When you're mobile, what are you running in that thing? Because it always throws out such a good signal. What are you running for? I think, did you have a 480 SAT? I can't remember what it was. What were you running for a whip on that thing? Was it a Tar Heel or something?
Yeah, I run the 280, 480, 200 watts. I used to have an amplifier in there. I got the Henrys and I got the Meritrons, but with all the electronics in there, computers, I don't like to run it. Yeah, running the 480, 200 watt, and I got the Tar Heel 75A, if you look it up. I think it does 10 through 80. I don't think it does 160. It's a short, little, fat, stubby antenna. Really works well.
No kidding. Wow. Did you ever have problems? I have a Volkswagen. It's a CC, and I'll tell you what, man, that thing was the noisiest vehicle I have ever seen. The Xterra, it has a little bit of noise in it, but electronic stuff. But that Volkswagen, I tried everything, and I just, eventually I gave up. I was like, forget it. I found the Yaesu actually was better at the time. I was running a 7000, and I went over to the 857, which I normally use for portable stuff, and that actually had a better noise blanker. It was much more effective. But yeah, the Volkswagen made it impossible, so I just ripped the whole thing out, over.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Talk about noise. I got to run the 7000 too. I had that in the Prius. Man, you talk about noise. But I could get it to work. It was working nice. And, certain vehicles, I'm running Toyotas, so I don't have much noise, but I think, I think some of the Fords make a lot of noise. I think the Chevy, Chevy's a little bit better. I don't know. I guess it's maybe something with their system. I don't know,
November 3, Bravo, Golf, India.
Yeah, there's a 3 station. Go ahead.
Roger, I'm located about 50 miles southeast of Pittsburgh, running a 10-tech 599 Eagle, about 100 watt output vertical. I'd like to know how I'm doing. The weather here is cold. It's probably in the 20s. His name is Carl. Charlie Alpha Radio Love, over.
All right, Carl, you're 5557 here into southern New Jersey, Cape May County. You copping them? Go ahead.
Yeah, Carl, November 3, Bravo, Golf, India. Call here is Kilo 1, Golf, Mike. Name is Steve, up here just north of Manchester, Vermont. And you're about a 5.8 in QSB. There is some very rapid fading, but it's really nothing to do with your station there. But making a fine trip there, and good morning. Over.
Morning, Steve. What did you say that call was again?
Okay, yeah, boy, the QSB dropped you to about an S3. The call is Kilo 1, Golf, Mike, Germany, Mexico. Over.
I'd like to have a QSL card from Vermont there, Steve, if you would. I need one on 40 meter from Vermont, and I'd really appreciate if I could get one. K1GMM, I think it is, and I'll look you up on QRZ, and I'll get a card out to you, over.
Hey, no problem, Carl. I just worked the Vermont QSO party last weekend, and I've never seen this happen before, but I got a whole stack of QSL cards. I don't know what it is, but everybody needs Vermont. I don't quite understand it because there's plenty of operators here, so I don't know where everybody is. I think they all just, I don't know, they hide in the trees or in the bushes or something. There's a lot of bushes up here. So, yeah, no problem. Just follow the instructions on QRZ, and I'll get you a card out there. Over.
Thank you there, Steve. And what is your rig there? What's your rig? Where are you actually at in Vermont? K1GMM N3BGI.
Okay, the rig is a little baby ICOM 7300, running about 400 to 500 out right now, and the antenna is a 40-meter array, Delta Loop array. Over.
Roger, I have a ICOM 7300 here in the box. Never hooked it up yet. I wandered in a ham fest over a year ago. I have a slight handicap, so usually when I get things done, I need help. But, so actually,
Glenn.
is your PTH in Vermont? What's the name of your town? Over.
Name of the town is Mount Tabor. Tango Alpha Bravo Oscar Romeo, Little East Podunk town, about 15 miles north of Manchester, Route 7 corridor. Go ahead.
Hey there, Steve. K1GMM N3BGI. And what's my signal report? Did you say I'm 5'5"?
Yeah, you're about a 5.5 now, but when you first came in, you were peaking an 8, a 5 and 8, and there is some rapid fading. 5.5 currently. Over.
Okay, Steve, fine business. Where is Mount Tabor, Vermont located? What part of the state are you in? And I got to go QRT here. We're getting ready to leave, but you can answer my question. That'll be my
I lost him completely.
I won't come back. I'll sign with
Yeah, he's pretty low, Rich.
Is he still talking, or?
Yeah, I think he just stopped there, Rich. Yep, heavy fading took you almost right out of there, Carl. But yeah, 7.3. Have a good day. And my general location is the southwest corner of Vermont. If you were to look at the New York-Massachusetts border, the southwest corner of Vermont, and come north on the west side about 40 miles. That's roughly where I'm located. 7.3, dude. Rich has lost you completely, and you're right just above my noise. Over.
Okay, Steve. Nice work. Kilo 1, Golf Mike. November 3, Bravo, Golf India. Clear to RT. 73, Steve. Nice working you.
Okay, Carl. Yeah, pleasure. Catch you later. 7-3. Have a great rest of the weekend. Go ahead, Rich. Yeah, he's this just this is the way this band has been lately, isn't it? The QSB is nuts. 20 has been horrible. S9 to right in the noise floor, at least for me. So I think it's spread into 40. It's been like this for a few weeks now, hasn't it?
I couldn't even hear Roger yesterday. Matter of fact, you're starting to take a fade on me. I'm running about 500. I'll turn it up a little bit. You run that outboard gear. I'm running the art. I like that art channel. I'm running the voice channel. But you know what? I can't get any meter activity. I mean, the thing is working. Let me see here. I'll throw some, okay, I put some lows in. And now I'm backing it out. I'll put some high here. I put some highs and mids in there. Do you hear the difference?
A little bit, but the band is screwy. Yeah, it helped when you turn the power up a little bit, but really not that much. Yeah, a little bit. You're not getting a meter? Are you talking about you're not getting enough ALC drive, or is it in the outboard, in the gear itself? Over?
It's in the unit itself. I don't know what it is. I can't get no readings on the meters or the output level, but the thing is working. I don't get it. If I turn it all the way up and overdrive it, then it'll read.
K1GMM. Now, was it which piece of gear is this? Are you running a preamp? You got a microphone coming into a preamp, and I have found this. You almost need, to be honest with you, dude, you need a what the heck do they call it? Because it's theoretically an impedance mismatch, right? This outboard gear puts a signal into at least the 7300 that's way too hot. So to get it, and I found that the 7300, I run it so that the mic gain, the mic gain in the radio itself is almost all the way wide open. And I use a compressor limiter expander gate to kind of reel it in and get it under control. But to get the equipment to function properly, you need a pad. You need a pad between the outboard gear and the radio so you can bring the levels up all the way so you can get especially if you're running a tube preamp, and get your limiting to kick in. It's kind of a fussy process. Over?
I'm running the RE27. That's the one. That's what I'm running.
Oh gosh, yeah. Let me make sure my settings are correct. I'm actually set at 5K, 5K wide right now. I don't need to be, but let me check. I want to be absolutely sure. Edit. So I'm set at 5 kilohertz wide, and the low I have 20 hertz to 5 kilohertz available on receive, and I don't hear a lot of low end out of that thing. Normally you're a lot more bodacious. Over?
What do you see me, how wide I am on my bandwidth? Can you see it?
Yeah, you're actually narrower than you were, because I had to actually reel it out a little bit. Let's see, 1, 2, I think you're around 3 kilohertz, maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure. Give me another over and I'll tell you for sure. Over?
Yeah, it should be 4. Let me change something. All right, how about that there? Did I put any lows in the audio?
Nope. Yeah, I just looked at the screen, and I've got in the spectrum, I've got just about a little more than 3 kilohertz. Nothing's moving above that. When you first came in, I was set at 3.3 kilohertz. And I looked at it, and you were way outside of there. So I was like, shoot, I'll move it to 4. And you were still outside at 4. And I moved it to 5, and it was like just over 4 kilohertz wide. So now you're down to like, I don't know what's going on, dude. I don't know what to tell you, but you're definitely not at 4. You weren't on the last go.
Okay, how about there? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hit me again.
Yeah, all right. I could put some lows in here. All right. I guess this thing's working. I'm hitting the bypass there. Yeah, it seems like it's working to me. Over.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, you're out to 4 on that. Let me make sure I'm... Yeah, I'm just really surprised because normally you are just booming. Geez, something, dude, has changed, I'm telling you. Because it's much thinner than what it should be. You can hear it. I'm actually streaming it. I'm streaming it, and I'm going to let it render to YouTube so you can go in and check it out. It's probably going to be, let's see, it's 11:52, 51:52. So I would scroll into the stream. I started it right at 11:30. So go in about 20 minutes, and you'll hear it. Over.
Good morning, Henny, DOD.
All right, I put the, through the compressor on. Yeah, I think that's Lee or John in there. Good morning to you. Yeah, is that any better, Steve?
Hey, DOD, dead on departure. I think that was it. The name is Steve up here in Vermont, K1GMM, Kilo 1 Golf, Mike. I didn't really notice any change. But I was wondering if I had something wrong, but DOD came in. He almost popped the screws out of the drywall, so it is working here. Go ahead, dude. Pick it up. Pick it up there with Rich. K1GMM.
Okay, Steve. Very good. The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and we're in Warren, Ohio. Just listening around here. Say hello to Rick there. Sounding good here. Beautiful day here. Got sunshine in the east window and about 26 degrees. All is dry, so it's and 37 days till spring. That's about all I've got to report. Over to you, Rick, DOD.
Okay, good morning. Good morning to you. Yeah, I was facing away from you there, Steve. It might be a little bit better for you now. A copy. Yeah, DOD, what was the name again? I forgot your name. Over.
Okay, it's Jim, Juliet India Mike.
All right, Jim. Yeah. Had them all but the right one. Yeah, so, getting ready for the snowstorm or what?
No, nothing coming here for a while. We got a few days of reprieve, and I was up North Country, up around the Amish country yesterday, and they got the sap buckets out. They're rattling them and tapping the trees, so that's a good indication. Over to you, Steve. I don't want to bust this up. Just want to let you know I was here and say good morning to you. Great signal into Ohio.
Okay, Jim. Yeah, good to hear you. And yeah, I'm about 15 miles north of Manchester, southwest corner here. Wow, beautiful signal and really, really nice sounding station. No, you're not busting anything up. We just, usually there's a big group that kind of hangs around in here, 191, 192, and everybody comes and goes and checks in. It's a good crew, so welcome. And I'm usually not, usually I'm late to the party when everybody's signing off. So what are you running there, Jim? I've got a good path to Ohio. It just seems to work. I don't know why. To the VE3s, Ohio, Illinois, and then down towards Pennsylvania and Virginia is very, very good for me at this time of the day. I'm 40, so go ahead, pick it up. Yeah, let me know what you're running as far as a rig and stuff like that. Sounds superb. Over.
Okay, Steve. Very good. Thank you very much. Well, I usually come in here and listen and sometimes get in when Roger and the whole crew's in here, and Terry and that.
Hey, John. So, how's it going, buddy?
Anyhow, the rig here is a Flex 6700. The mic's an RE27, and alpha behind it, and dipole. That's about it. Nothing special. Over.
Okay, yeah, you're just trying to bump the 20 over mark. So yeah, doing a nice job. Go ahead, Rich. What happened to Rich? You in there, buddy?
Oh, yeah, I'm back. All right. Yeah, so, the microphone is the RE27. That's the one I'm running.
Jim, can you how good of a copy do you have on Rich? Rich usually sounds like you do, really bodacious, and his audio is very thin to me. I don't that microphone should be just roaring in here. I don't know what's going on. He sounds very different than he normally does. Do you have a good enough copy on him to maybe help him out there? I know what Rich likes to sound like, and that is not it. But I don't want to come across as being insane, which I am. I'd rather have some other station either deny or confirm what I'm hearing. Go ahead, Jim. Pick it up with Rich there for a while.
Okay, well, he's not his usual self, but I think it might be band conditions. I don't know, because he's not as strong as he usually is. And his audio is not as proud as it usually is. So I don't know whether he's done something or whether it just happens to be today. But I'm not in a position with his strength to give any real judgment there. I think we better hold off on that. Over.
See, you're an honest operator. That's a good thing. I don't like critiquing people's audio, but Rich I know, and I'm used to hearing Rich, and I know that's not Rich. So usually, boy, he's scared. I jump out of my chair because, like I said, he's down in that area where I have a really good path, and I have a big monitoring system here. I actually monitor through a 150 watt PA. I bring SDR console out to a 30 band EQ and out to the 150 watt amplifier, and then out to a set of big Sony cabinets which are on each side of me. So you can go deaf. But yeah, I mean, I see the lights, the pictures on the wall are crooked sometimes, and anybody with a bodacious sounding station, yeah, it's a lot of fun to listen to. That's why I'm actually on headphones now, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't cracking up there. I don't know where everybody is, man. Well, Brian, I've been looking forward to touching. Either you guys touch. I know Rich, you haven't heard him, but it seems like that poor guy. Last time I chatted with him, he had another cold going, so maybe he's still under the weather. Go ahead, Rich. K1GMM.
Yeah, K1GMM, K2RKB. I swung around on you now. Is that a little bit better?
Oh my God, you're above 20 over. I saw out of the corner of my eye. You may be pushing 30 over to me, Rich. That's probably better to Jim there.
Yeah, a lot better here.
Copying Jim. He's up and down and passing more between me and you. I mean, I got you good now. I had the beam facing west, but I got it up north now. Is the audio better now?
No, it hasn't changed, dude. It hasn't changed one bit. It's weird. Are you sure you don't have like something in bypass or something like that, like a switch in bypass? Because it sounds like you're tweaking and nothing's happening. Are you sure something isn't in standby or bypassed or whatever?
Yeah, I'm checking it. It could be something there. I don't know. But this has an impedance match knob where you can adjust that up to 3K from 150 to 3K.
What have you been doing in Ohio, Jim, for excitement? You get to work any stations in the Vermont QSO party last weekend, or I'm trying to think. I don't remember working you. But anything exciting over there? Rich and I were just chatting about possible storm coming in. So I've had antenna issues. I got a funny story for you real quick. I'll try and keep it pithy. I looked out the other morning. We had horrific winds here overnight. This was 2 nights ago. And it was very warm. You know, temperatures were in the 50s. Well, the block that holds the southwest corner of the array was on the ground, and which is normal. I set it so it's somewhat a little bit loose, just barely touching the ground, you know. Well, when it froze up, it froze the block into the mud, literally solid in the ground. And as the wind started to whip the trees, it actually sheared the paracord holding the pulley because nothing could move. And I was able to get it back up yesterday, but wind was blowing so hard I couldn't get the tennis ball with a cannon through the notch in the tree I wanted, so it's just barely dangling on a branch. And it's going to come down again, so I'm trying to figure out if I need to get out there, and may do that this afternoon, see if I can put a new line over, seeing as how the wind isn't blowing quite as bad, and maybe I can get that settled into a notch in the tree a little bit better. But that's not going to stay there. I know that's coming down. Probably if we get a big storm Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll look out and everything will be on the ground again. Over to you, Jim, K1GMM.
K1GMM in the group, N8DOD. Very good. Well, I was real lucky. We also had that wind for all overnight, and I laid up there in bed half the night thinking, well, I wonder how much of that aluminum's going to be where I left it when I went to bed. But I got up and it was all there. But there was other things that had been moved around, but no major damage anyhow. And so, well, you better get out there today, because next couple of days looks good here, and we're sending it your way as near as I can tell. So it's looking like we're going to, continue to get up, but not like we were. We were up in the 60s. That's unbelievable here. Like I said, they're up in Amish country where they're hanging the sap buckets, and it's pretty early for that. But boy, we've sure had cool nights and warm days, and that's what makes that happen. So very good. Well, I got you up here on YouTube, and you're streaming there and looking at that and looking pretty good. Nice looking station there, Steve. Over.
How did you find that on YouTube? What did you catch that? Just knocking around, but pretty quiet. It's just a few guys in on the stream. Jerry and Bill and the rest of the guys. There's actually more than what I thought. So, yeah, I'm trying desperately to scar these guys for life. So hopefully they'll be. My goal is to have them just as twisted metal as I am. There, over.
Well, that's not a bad thing. So, like in what I say, yeah. Well, the
hey,
way
Chuck.
I found it was,
how's it going, Chuck?
Whenever I logged you, my logging program brings up QRZ, and I saw the link there, so I hit it, and here we are. But looking good. I wonder if Bill or Brian or Roger or Terry or Ray or anybody else is in here now.
I haven't heard them, but yeah, I'm watching it too. Steve, looks good.
If you can shut off that side of your brain there, Rich, put on a pair of headphones, jack them into the computer, and listen to yourself. There's going to be guys on the stream. Bill, you said there's 5 to 6 second delay. So I would say roughly 3 to 6 second delay there, Rich. So there you go. I got a good enough copy on you. If you put the headphones on and you listen to the stream, that's going to hit you probably in 3 to 6 seconds. So that would be a good way to, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I am, currently I'm at 4K wide, 20 hertz. I'm receiving and processing 20 hertz to 4 kilohertz. So that'll give you a good indication. Jim Teeple checked in. Now, I haven't heard anybody. Anybody else want to jump in here? This is not a closed group. K1GMM Vermont. Oh, Jim. That's you. Yeah, I don't hear anybody jumping in. Quiet today.
I have to tell you a story about Vermont a number of years ago, and the first time there. We've been there several times and really like the area. But I have to tell you a story about the first time we came into Vermont.
Yeah, let me have it. Go for it, Jim. And I can't, well, no, I can't imagine because this place is a freak show. It really is. I'm originally from Connecticut, and yeah, this was a shock to my nervous system, and it still continues to be. Moved here in '87, and it's still a little bizarre up here. But go ahead.
Yeah, this is all good. It was back in the '60s. And we were traveling up through to Maine, Nova Scotia with the campers, and I had 3 daughters, very young. Oldest one was 5, and we pulled into Brandon, Vermont. Rounded the corner there, nice quaint little town,
Brandon.
And there was a laundromat right on the main street. So we was in need of that, so we decided that was a good time to do that. So the girls were in there doing the laundry, and we was traveling with another couple and their children, and so pretty soon a couple of old maid spinster school teachers came in, introduced themselves, and said they'd like to take the girls for ice cream. Well, my wife wasn't inclined to do that, and they understood. And they said, "Well, that's fine. You know, you're in a different type of an area now. You know, you're in a little family town here, but we understand and we respect that." And they talked a little bit and colored with the girls there a little bit, and they left. And pretty soon they come back with a 5-pound box of maple candies for the girls. So we thought that was very nice. And my buddy and I had gone across the street to the hardware store where we spent some time over there. So, but it was all good. I really enjoyed it. The people there were very friendly over.
That's funny, dude. It's funny you said Brandon. A good friend of mine, AA1PR, lived in Brandon. He just moved in the past several months to West Rutland. So I was up in Brandon all the time, and that's about 50 minutes north of me where I am. I'm south of Rutland by about 25 minutes. And he lived there for quite a while, up in Brandon. So, and I wonder if that laundromat is still there, because he always talked to, I bet that laundromat is still there, dude, to be honest with you. Vermont maple syrup, maple candy, man, that's like a little taste of heaven on earth, isn't it?
It's always good. Well, we're right in the maple area here. Geauga and Trumbull counties known for their maple syrup and that, so I'm familiar with it. But it was just a very nice gesture that those 2 ladies did. I thought that was nice. Okay, hey, let me sit back here, and maybe you can work with Rick there and see what's going on. But sure is nice hooking up with you, and we'll look for you more often in DOD. Go ahead. I
see someone, I can't hear them. They're pretty close. They're in there. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're on 898 or something like that, or 188 or 189. Rich, are you fussing? What are you doing over there? You're awfully quiet, so I think he's fussing around. You know what I've been thinking about doing? I don't know if you guys mess with this at all. A lot of guys are running the software, doing all their audio processing in the software. I'm kind of in a dilemma here because I've got an old computer. This computer is 11 years old, and I'm working the daylights out of it, man, with this live streaming and all this other stuff and the SDR stuff. I was curious, Jim, when it comes back around to you, how do you handle the audio on your Flex? Do you basically handle all that in the software? It is nice to be able to do it that way, but I'm just torturing this old machine, and I will be upgrading it most likely to an i7, but I'm not sure when that's going to happen. So kind of keep that in your quiver. And when it comes back around to you, let me know what you think about that. I used to do it. I ran a recording studio here for many, many years and moved over to hard disk recording. And it was brilliant, but one, I refused to run multiple computers. Two, I have all this stuff sitting around, so I just use the rack, you know. But it is nice to get everything in the software, which would be really slick because you can do a lot more when it's in the computer, can't you? Rich, what are you doing, man? Go ahead, pick it up, and if there's anybody else wants to jump in, throw in your call. K1GMM.
Okay, yeah, I'm just here listening. You're asking about Brian. He was in here yesterday. And he was off one day last week. I don't know what it was, Wednesday or Thursday. They had a lot of ice, so you want to drive that school bus, you know?
I'm starving, by the way. Actually, he's got a big... when's President's Week? That's this month, right? Washington's birthday. Yeah, he's going to be off at least a week, I think, right?
I think it's Monday or Tuesday, the holiday.
When? Not tomorrow. This is a week from tomorrow, right? Or am I... Dude, I don't pay attention to anything. And it's funny because I've got a pseudo calendar right in front of me, and I don't know if it's... Yes, it would show that. So actually, I'm going to look at that right now because I'm too inept to remember.
And we haven't gotten all that snow, but we did have that cold. We were, down to 0 and about 10, 12 below wind chill. Got cold here last night. It was about 12, 15 wind chill.
Yeah, the wood stove is just a chugging, dude. That thing is... I don't care. I'm keeping that thing freighted. It was cold here. Yesterday, putting the antenna up. Oh man! No matter how determined you are to keep from doing that, you know, you can spend your entire summer and fall preparing your antennas to not get broken in the wintertime, and it seems like I'm always out there, dude. You know, so I just give up. I don't care. I'll repair them when they come down if I feel like it. But I'm looking. Oh, jeez. Yeah, my daughter's going to be off too. Oh no, this is this is a week out, I think, right? Looks like a week out. Yeah, and you know, for you guys who don't, Vermont is basically a tourist trap. It's a what do they call it? A tourist-driven economy. So we actually get 2 weeks where things are literally insane here. with skiers and stuff like that. So yeah, the gloves are going to come off, and it's going to turn into a madhouse for 2 straight weeks. Because I guess the different states in the Northeast have different times off or something like that. So it's extended into a 2-week period there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got the wood stove going. The pile's getting down. I don't know how many cord you got through. I think I went through about 2 or 3. I got another one left. I should be able to make it. Got a lot of cherry wood out there. Yeah, I was getting a little bit of RF in here, too, lately. I don't know if you're hearing anything now. And I don't know where it's coming from. Well, it was like 65 here. 65 for a couple of days, and then it went down to... gosh, I don't know how it went down to like 10 degrees. So, that causes a lot of moisture. So I think that probably had that in the antenna,
Contact.
Yeah, contact. Go ahead. K1GMM, Vermont.
Okay, Vermont. My name is Bob Baker, Oscar Baker, Columbia, and I just stepped out of the house to do some antenna work. Somebody was talking about having to go all the time. I just thought I'd check in and see what kind of antenna he had and what he has to do. Call this November India 8 Alpha. Go ahead.
Okay, November India 8 Alpha, I think it was, Bob. Let me write this down. Yeah, Bob. Name is Steve this side. I'm over here, southwest corner of Vermont. Oh, well, I bit off more than I can chew. They're not hard to put together, but there's moving parts on 3 of them. So there's, when it gets really, really cold, that bone-crushing cold drops below like 20 degrees down towards 0. Anything that's motor-driven is not particularly happy. So there's something to be said for simple. But, yeah, that being said, no, I've got multiple connection points. I've got a hex beam, which the rotator just went defunct on me last week. Stopped rotating, and I never did find the issue. Had to drop the antenna down and fuss with that stupid thing. I ended up, all I did was check the terminals, the connections, re-greased it, and all of a sudden it started working. And don't ask me, and it's still working, but it's going to fail again because I never found the exact problem of why it stopped. Couldn't find it. Then I had a paracord failure on the array. There's a 40-meter array. It's 2 delta loops out there that either go northeast or southwest. That's what I'm on right now. Then there's a 75-meter delta loop phased array, which is a little bit different, and both of them are driven with motor drives with homebrew double pole, double throw switches. The switches themselves aren't the issue. It's usually the motor drives and or how I have them suspended in the trees. So they're easy to put together and to make work, but there's that added element. It's not like throwing a dipole up in a tree, you know what I mean? So yeah, inevitably every year, every winter, I'm out there screwing around with them because something happened. Over.
Yeah, okay, I didn't get any of that, but I did get the overtow. No, I only work with wires. I finally got the money for a Canada giant to put it up the way it was supposed to be, and then my back went up. So I'm still back to the wires, and this is my first day back on that. So we're going to keep going with them, but I understand your problems with that. Yeah, came out of Michigan, and not very nice up there. Okay, I'll let you go. 73, sir, and thanks for the check-in.
Hey, no problem, Bob. Stick around. Maybe the guys. You're about 5 well, I can't be sure, but you're fairly low on the copy to me. But you're probably better to Rich. I don't know, but I hear you. No problem. 100% copy. So yeah, good to hear you. 7-3. Put it over to Rich there. I know Jim is probably sitting there. I don't know, still listening, but you guys go ahead and pick him up there. Say hello to Bob. This is K1GMM, Vermont.
But thank you. I'll stick around for a minute. Then I gotta go. Thank you.
He's very light on me, Steve.
Okay. Rich said you're pretty light there, Bob, to him. And I think you're going to be too close, aren't you, for Jim? Jim, are you still in there?
Yeah,
Where's he at, Steve?
Copy on him, and DOD here. I missed the call because I wasn't paying attention, not because of your signal strength. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah,
He's Ohio, if you're watching the stream. Rich, he's Ohio. I think.
You sound good, sir. I got to get your call and your name, but no, I've always used wires, never had enough money, and then I got a hold of Don up there, put up towers and antennas. He gave me a good deal with everything, but by the time we got around to it, I'm working this stupid back. Maybe it's getting better now, so we'll go back to the wires. I'm thinking about the simplest I could get, which would be a long wire. Go ahead.
Okay, what was the call again? The call here is N8DOD, and the name is Jim, and we're located in Warren, Ohio, right on the Pennsylvania-Ohio border, about 50 miles south of the lake. Over.
Okay, Jim, thank you very much. My call was November India 8 Alpha. And boy, you sound good here. Go ahead.
November India 8 Alpha, nice call, very good. Okay, where are you located?
40 miles west of Columbia. We're out in the middle of nowhere, and 40 miles straight west of the airport.
Okay, which airport?
What's my what?
What airport?
Oh, that was the Columbia Metropolitan.
Yeah, okay, very good. Not sure where that's at, but yeah, you got a nice signal in here today. So what's the rig there?
I've got a 1040 and a 1040, a 940, Kenwood 940, and I'm looking for Kenwood 940 parts or somebody that can work on them. If you could help me out on that, that would be appreciated.
Ooh, 940, that's a nice rig.
I got one off the internet, and it needs the automatic voltage regulator board. Go ahead.
Okay, yep. I don't know anything about who works on Kenwood, so I can't help you out on there. Sorry about that. Over to you, Rick, NADOD.
NADOD, K2RKB. Where is he at? In South Carolina or Ohio?
No, I'm in South Carolina, Rick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a copy on you. You're a little light, but we're in southern New Jersey. Over.
Yep, that seems to be where I get most of my contacts along the East Coast. Go ahead.
Yeah. We're like 5.5, 5.7 here at the present time.
Good morning, Team Rich, and good morning to you, Jim, from KWGMM.
Okay. Morning, Roger. Now we got
Hey, there's
Bob
Roger.
in here and Steve up in Vermont. Over.
Good morning, Roger.
Good morning to Bob and Steve.
Good morning, Roger, NADOD.
Hey, relay a good morning to Roger. I don't think he's going to hear me because we're too close. You guys carry on. I'm going to duck out for a minute here. I can hear him, and I can hear everything he's saying, but I doubt he's going to hear me. Go ahead, you guys. And please wish Roger a good morning. K1GMM, thank you.
Yeah, Steve, before you go, how much wood do you go through up there?
Oh, 2.5 cord a year. I have a very small house. It's just a little ranch house, about 1,200 square feet on the main floor, and it's extremely well insulated. It's like a vault, so it's very efficient, you know. About 2.5 cord, and we heat primarily with wood. Over.
Okay, yeah. I go about 2 to 3. Yeah, about 3 cord. Yeah, Roger, Steve says hello, but I don't think he can hear you.
The Germans just blown the waiver this month. Jim, what have you done to produce such great signals?
Kept my hands off the controls. Just let things alone.
That's 25 over 9. Wow.
Yeah, good. Glad to hear that. Thank you. You're about the same. You're not quite that strong. You're about 10 over. but you always are.
Yeah, I can hear you today, Roger. I couldn't hear you yesterday at all.
So you were in the mobile yesterday, right?
Yeah, and on the base. I still couldn't hear you.
Oh, you're on my F9 too. Jim, I got a good question for you. I have a simplicity.
Man,
It's about.
that's Roger. I can barely hear him on the 7300, on the front end of the 7300.
I've been all through YouTube many times.
This Air Spy is so superior on receive compared to the 7300. It's amazing.
The internet, I can't find anything there. I don't understand why. The Briggs and Stratton, ever since they bought out the...
That is amazing.
Has really clamped down on any kind of service information.
Okay, well, I'm not familiar with it at all, so I can't help you there. I haven't heard the name Simplicity for a long, long time. Didn't know they were taken over by Briggs and Stratton, and didn't know that they were still in existence. Over.
Oh, yeah. I bought the replacement. That Briggs and Stratton,
No, it's
well, you have the parts then?
yeah, but it's a detailed I really would like.
no. I'm gonna address the stream, Glenn. I have the Air Spy on the same antenna as the 7300, and so I take with the RX 7300 mod gives me an additional output out of the 7300, so I tap that feed and connect that to the Air Spy. So same antenna, and I'm actually, hey Bill, what's cooking, Bill? We're in on 7192, just taking a little break here and letting the guys have at it. Bill just checked in, and haven't heard Brian yet this morning, but hey Joe, what's going on? Joe just came banging in here. Yeah, so the Air Spy is actually running, what you guys are hearing is actually the Air Spy HF Plus. You're not hearing the 7300. I don't use the front end on the 7300 because I found the HF Plus to be a better receiver, believe it or not. It's quieter, it's more sensitive, more selective, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but it's actually better. Roger, it may be a noise issue because the noise is higher on the 7300 front end, but I can copy Roger better on the HF Plus. The signal may be the same, but whew, it's carnage on the ICOM compared to the Air Spy. And I was listening to, you know, those RTL SDR dongles. 2832U's, the V3s. I plugged it in last night. I was playing with it, and I was comparing the two between the Air Spy. Holy crap, there is no comparison between those things. It's like the difference between an Elecraft K3S and Yaesu 857. That's like the difference between like the 2832U and the Air Spy. Wow. I'm trying to figure out what to do because I want to order another one to run on the SPY server and leave it running all the time. Just switch it in and out of the antenna whenever I'm on HF. And the problem is, it's just such a dog compared to the AirSpy. So I'm actually thinking about going with like an AirSpy, what is it, the R2 or something like that. But it's ridiculous because the cost of those things, you might as well just get another HF Plus. HF Plus is really superb, I found. It's really phenomenal. Let me put her back in a loop and I'll bring the thing back online. Gareth, dude, what's up? Oh, Joe. Ray, how's it going, dude? KG5UHC and Joe, go get that general, dude. You'll get it, no problem. If you got the technician, you'll actually get the extra. I swear to God. Don't let anybody tell you the extra's that bad. You'll get the general. You will upgrade to extra. I can almost stake my life on. You'll probably do it in short order. So you'll get it. Let me get back over to... Yeah, look around, Glenn. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like I always say, it's what works for me. I haven't tried a lot of them. So maybe you can get by with a lesser SDR module radio. The problem is if you're going to spend like $150 on one, don't even jerk around. Go ahead and get an HF Plus. Do not jerk around. It's not worth it. You know, once you, that's the way I look at it. Once you cross the $150 threshold, who cares? Spend another $50 and go. And from what I've read, everything I've seen, the HF Plus rivals some of the big dogs that are like 3 times the cost. So it's a good value for the money. It's easy, you know, to work with. I don't know if I can show you what it looks like. If I've got enough cable here. Can you see that? That's what it looks like. That's the HF Plus. Very well built. If you were to throw this at somebody, you'd kill them. It is not this cheap plastic piece of junk. I mean, it is a freaking weapon. Hold on. Let me go over. Hold on, you guys. Let me, decent live stream camera. I'll address the stream here. See, that's, let me comment on something really quick and then I'll get right to you, Bill. I'll show you what I'm running. Of course, you can do whatever you want, but I think they look okay, don't they, on the stream? I'm only running them at 1280, actually 720, 1280 by 720. I'm not running them full HD because I found you don't have to. They will run full 1080, 1920 by 1080, but that requires a lot of computer. This is what I'm dealing with right now. You're talking about, who was it? Mentioned Glenn, you're going to the 3000. I have pretty much settled on, get back on the camera. And this is just me. I would never tell anybody what to do. This is just a personal choice. I had my panties all in a bunch over like an Anon or Flex, and I will probably, if I do want to go that route, I will definitely go with an Anon. I like the open source software. I like the fact that they don't charge you for updates. I love the audio. Audio wins hands down on the Anon. I can tell usually immediately when someone's on an Anon. over a Flex or any other type of radio. Anons are just, they're so sweet, the way they sound. I'm not saying Flex is bad. I'm just saying that's my personal preference. That's where I go. But I had some computer issues, right? And I'll tell you what, nothing. Now, some guys will say, well, so what? Just order the Maestro with a Flex. That is an option. I thought about looking for a used Flex. I would never buy one new. A used Flex with a Maestro package, you know. The reason why I say that is because as much as I love this system, where the 7300 falls flat for me is if something happened in the computer and I was working an event, I can't have a radio that is dependent on a computer to make it work. I can't. I just can't go down that route. And I won't. So that's the problem with the Anons, is that they don't have that. You have to have a computer to run those connected. Is it a deal breaker? No. Maybe I'm just being ridiculous, but I'm saying this is my personal preference. So I love a knob radio, and I've stumbled upon guys that actually have gone the Flex route and the Anon route, and they're like, you know what? We just like our knob radio. So right now I have kind of the best of both worlds. The only problem with this system is it's got about half second of latency, which I found is not a deal breaker. It's working. I don't care. I worked some events and worked the Vermont QSO party, not a deal breaker. So you're talking about going to the 3000, right? This is what I'm thinking. I would like a radio that gives me 4 kilohertz TX capability, but it has to be clean. And so far, I have yet to hear any Yaesu that sounds as good as this ICOM. I haven't heard one. Even at 4 kilohertz wide, and this is me personally, I do a lot of listening, and I have a huge system here to listen to. I can listen out to 7 kilohertz, 10 kilohertz wide if I want to, with literally 20 hertz to like 10 kilohertz. I have yet to hear any Yaesu that sounds as good as this at 2.9 wide. Doesn't mean they aren't out there. Maybe they are. But the audio path, the chain in this ICOM is freaking incredible. The problem is I hate using this rig as a standalone rig because the front end is such an abomination. Like I've said to you guys before, it's a barn door. So what I'm trying to figure out is what rig would I go to where I have my knobs. If something happened to the computer, I can run this rig. I can just grab a pad of paper and a pen, and my computer pukes. Who cares? Shut it down. Go to the rig only. I've got superb front end on it, superb filtering, roofing filters, great audio right out of the box, and it'll run as a standalone unit. That's the problem. Yeah, Flex, M series, or with a Maestro, yeah. That would do it, but I don't know, man. We're at this point, I think, in this industry where Flex is smart in the sense that they came out with a radio with the best of both worlds. You know, with the M series and the Maestro capability. So you don't need a computer to run it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Now you're talking money. I mean, crap, you can buy a used FTDX 3000 for about $800. That's a heck of a lot cheaper than a stinking Flex. So, you know, and you've got the best of both worlds. The reason why DX contesters, there are more DX contesters and event contest stations that run these Yaesus than probably any other radio. I talked to a ton of them. They're running 3000s, 5000s, stuff like that. There's a reason, man. You know? So, I don't know. It's the age-old dilemma. I love knobs, Bill, too. I just love a radio with knobs on it. And the problem with like the Maestro, like a 6400M or 6600M, it just looks like a pile of crap. I know people are going to jump on my case, but I'll tell you what is a sexy looking radio. It's way overpriced. And I can't get that much information on it. It's too new. I'm going to wait and see. But I'll tell you what, that freaking Kenwood 890, that is a sexy looking radio. I don't care what anybody says. You know, would I ever buy like an 890? Ugh. That's the problem. I won't even use the front end on an 890. I'd have it hooked up to an AirSpy HF Plus. So why am I going to go out and spend $3,000 or $4,000 on a radio when I'm not even going to use the front end on it? Normally, in everyday use, even in the contest environment. The only time I'm going to be forced to use the front end on any radio I have at this point is if the computer crashes in the middle of it. So, you know, there's something to be said for having this big monster set sitting on the desk in front of you. It's just freaking cool, isn't it? I don't know. Paul, I know this is so cheesy, is it? Yeah, the 990. Yeah. I'd love one of those too. It's a tough call. It's so difficult. For those of us that are loaded, like I know this guy, I know a person that spent like $30,000 or $40,000 in 1 year just buying and selling radios. I think it was just a 1 year period, like 40 grand just trying them out and selling them. But he'd buy them at a really good price and then he'd turn around and make money by selling them. He'd, basically steal them from someone, and not really, but get a great deal on one and then turn around and say, hey, I got a such and such radio, you'd really like it. Well, he bought it and he hated it, so he'd sell it and he'd make money on it. Beware. That's all I can say. Yeah, you're a sick man. VK2. FHQ. What is wrong with you, dude? And a swinging needle. You know, that's what's sexy about the new Kenwood. Have you looked at that? It's got the old traditional, whatever you call those. None of this like moving LED bar crap, and I don't know, man. Yeah, you guys got to give me your input. Don't ever be afraid to let me have it. Tell me why you like what you got and what it, because I'm open to stuff like that. I want to hear from normal people why you run what you run. Are you happy with it? Things you like about it, what you don't like about it. That's what this crap is all about, this live stream. Go ahead and throw it in there. Yeah, you guys are all off your freaking rockers. Bring the audio back online here. See if Brian's in there.
Well, it depends on what's going on here in the family, but it is possible we could come up on Wednesday for a little while.
That's a great radio, Greg. Excellent DX rig. A lot of guys run them. A lot of guys actually prefer those over the 7610. That would be it. See, that's a good combination, Greg. With a like a rig like what I'm running, set it up with an IF out. Heck yeah, you got the best of both worlds there, buddy.
Everything's fine. I put 2.02 in the one RF deck, and I haven't seen anything.
No, I haven't. Design Trek.
I haven't changed the other one from 2.00.
Oh, audio equipment. Most of the stuff I had, dude, and some of it I sold. So I don't know if you can see it. So I'll try and run through it. Sorry about the noise. I'm trying to figure out where to put this thing so you can see the... Can you see the stuff? All right. If I were going to do this and I didn't have a full-blown recording studio sitting in my basement, this is what I would do. There's 2 pieces of gear I would start with. 3. Microphone. That was $60. Great mic for $60. That's the GXL 2200 by CAD. It's cheap. Cheap microphone. And I'll tell you what, this thing kicks butt. It rivals, I've heard this up against in the studio. Geez, dude. Beautiful acoustic guitar mic, vocal mic, stuff like that. Need a good preamp. This is a tube preamp. If I were going to start out somewhere, I would probably get this preamp, and I'll tell you why. 1, it's 2 channels. 2, it's got parametric EQ built into it. And it has phantom power, which you will need to drive a microphone like this. They're around $100. Okay, then from there, so you got your EQ, right? Then from there, pick yourself up an oral exciter. That's the Aphex 204 sitting right there, the silver box. This is what will bring everything to life. This is the heart. Take all this other crap and throw it in the trash. This will get you going, but it's all about the microphone. You got to run a good mic. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to run like a $500-600 microphone. It's a freaking HF transceiver, okay? But a microphone will make all the difference. So running a crap $15 mic, what you put in, what you get out is what you put in. So if you put in crap, you'll get out crap. So microphone, preamp, Aphex 204, the appropriate cable to get it from the 204 to your rig. If you want to go to the next step, which gives you more control, get yourself a good EQ. I think this particular EQ, find yourself a used parametric. I had this, so I figured, hey, why not use it? Parametrics are better. Get yourself a good parametric EQ. This is a graphical EQ. This is a Behringer Ultragraph. The reason why I say 2 channels is because it's very handy having 2 channels, right? So in channel 1 right here is this microphone. In channel 2 is this microphone. This is my contest headset, what I use for contesting in DX. It's much, much sharper, and I have an EQ completely different. Very handy. That's in this channel. And this also comes into this channel of the Aphex 204. So that's it. So the 204, I think you can get around $160 used. You can get the other ones. Make sure it's the one with optical big bottom. I would look for one with the optical big bottom, personally. And that's it. That's what I would start with. A key piece of gear is this one right here. This is around, I think they're around $100. $120 maybe. This is an expander. It's the Composer Pro XL. It's an expander, gate, compressor limiter, de-esser. Very, very good unit. Again, that's 2 channels. So, I don't know. It depends on where you want to go and what you want to do with it. But to get you going, $100 on the preamp, $60, let's say $40 to $60 on a microphone, and $160, $170 for the Aphex 204. And you're off and running, man. So hopefully that's a good explanation. Yeah, this microphone, dude, is incredibly hot. I can hear a paperclip hit the floor. When the shack was upstairs, I could hear a paperclip hit the floor in the room next door, literally across the hall. it's a little bit of a problem. You have to have a very quiet shack and an incredibly quiet environment. Very quiet. It is smoking hot and very sensitive. That could be a put-off for a lot of people. Yes, some guys do that. They link both channels on the AFEX. Not really sure why you would need to do that, but if they're doing it, there's got to be a reason, right? If I was running one microphone, Bill, I may try that, play with that a little bit. I don't know. I've heard that before. I was listening on HF the other day, and I heard guys talking about that. Let's see if Brian's in here. You're welcome, Joe. Do some reading and research on it. The way you may find a better way to do it. You know, the issue with that is it's a tweaker's paradise. So you're not going to get it set up in a day or a week. It'll take you a while to get it really dialed in. My advice would be to find a web SDR and that you can hit really clean at like 10 to 20 over, and then dial your audio in while monitoring through a web SDR. That's the way to do it.
We'll make a decision here on whether it's worthwhile or not. I don't know. With the fact that the RF decks are working fine now, there's no reason for me to send anything back at all, Roger. So we'll just wait and see. There's no particular hurry. I'm kind of interested to see what the next firmware update might bring with the release notes.
I think these guys are pretty much...
I don't know if if they're going to come out with that one or just beta that. They're beta that one, and then maybe their official release.
Paul, the amplifier is an AL Alpha Lima 80 Alpha. It's an oldie but goodie. If you can find one, you can get them dirt cheap, and you may have to throw a little TLC to them. But they're a great 1 kW amp. I got this for $200, and it's still got the original tube in it, and it still does full boat, 1 kilowatt or more. Actually 1200 watts. So it's been a great amplifier, but I'm very, very nice to it. I'm really nice to my stuff. I do not abuse anything in here intentionally. $200, Bill. Can you believe it? Original 3500Z. I know a guy that finds them around. He buys them used. He's got like 3 or 4 of them sitting around his shack.
Well, I really think they
and rebuilds them.
To you because of your golden screwdriver.
Oh yeah. Who in their right mind would spend $4,000 on a stupid amplifier when you buy one for like, let's say even 400? A 1 kW for 400? So what? You got to manually tune the thing. What are you, freaking lazy? That's pretty funny. I don't know. There's some things I will never understand.
Sure, it's working pretty nice, though, isn't it?
If I had $4,000, would I spend it on an amplifier? If I'm honest, yeah, probably.
Of course, you don't jump around too much, I don't believe, from band to band and one end of the band to the other. I have a tendency to do that from time to time.
I know this guy. Who is it? Who is this? Yeah, 850 for an 80B. An 80B is, what is that, Bill? That's legal limit amplifier, isn't that? Isn't that a 1.5 kW? I can't remember because I don't know my amps. I haven't had to look at anything. Yeah, keep your eye out. If you can find an old AL80A, jump on it. That's only a 1 kW? See, that's the reason why a lot of guys go with the big stuff, the expensive stuff, because they do a lot of 6 meters. That is nice. That's nice. Wow, 1,600 new. So you got it half off, 2 years old. See, that's a good deal, dude. That's a good deal. You did okay. I mean, think about it. The 80A is long in the tooth, man. I mean, this is what is this thing, 30 years old? But it's a testament to how durable they are. I think the guy that had it, he never really ran it that much, so that was a big plus.
I would go back, and it didn't seem to remember what I had just programmed, and I was told if I didn't have the utility program available, to just go into the menu and erase the memory on one band and see if that corrected it, and it certainly did.
I think Rich cleared out of there. I can't really hear these guys. I think this is Roger. I think the 80B, isn't the 80B just a... what's the difference between... The 80B is just the upgraded 80A, isn't it? 80B, what is that? That has the work bands on it by default, correct? You guys... Oh, okay, Bill. Wow, VK is only 400 watts? Oh, so like an 811 would be sweet. That's what, 600? And that gives you a little bit of headroom. That's probably the best bang for the buck on the market, because if you think about it, right? I'm going to end with this because my daughter's home and I'm going to shut the stream down. If you think about it, bang for the buck, right? You can get an 811 for what? 600 bucks, 700 bucks, new, something like that. So that's what, 600 watts, right? So if you were to sit down and do the math, right, you got a 100-watt transceiver. So how much money are you spending? A friend of mine taught me this right when I got in the hobby, because I was looking at amplifiers, and it was hilarious because we sat down and we worked out the math, right? So you go, okay, you got an 811, which is a 600-watt jobby. The bang for the buck comes between 100 watts and 600 watts. If you look at the cost of a new model 1 kW amplifier for the benefit, that's dumb. If you actually sit down and do the math, right? Aren't you better off putting your money into an antenna system? I'm just saying. I don't know. That's only something an individual can answer. But the difference between 100 watts and 600 watts is greater than 600 watts and a kilowatt. Okay? 2 times 2 on 600 watts is 1,200 watts. So if you look at the multiplication between 100 watts and translated to S units, increase in signal strength, you're getting more bang for your dollars from 100 watts to 600 watts than you are going from 600 watts to a kilowatt or 1,200 watts. The difference in cost is enormous. Enormous, the difference between a 600 watt amp and like a 1 kW or more amp. It's enormous. So we were sitting there kind of chatting one day, and I went, oh, You know, that makes sense. Now, the most I ever run, I rarely run more than 500 watts out of this AL80A. Hardly ever do I run more than that. I think I've done that maybe 3 or 4 times in the past 4 years. And it was to bust a pile up going into the Middle East. That was the only time. Other than that, I never run more than 500. So do I need a kilowatt amplifier? No. That's a waste. You see where I'm going? So the best bang for your buck, clearly, hands down, is that 400 watt range, 400 or 500 watt range. You want to go above that. Now, if you're going to play on top band and you're going to do some other things, you want to really bust pile-ups, yeah, go. If you're going to go to a kilowatt, screw it. Go legal limit. Go 1.5 kW. Spend $4,000 on a stupid amplifier. That's what I would do. I would never buy a 1 kW amp at this point unless I went full-blown to 1.5 kW, because you're almost there. You can get an ACOM or something like that, you know. So, I don't know. Oh, it's a tough call, isn't it? No, they're not, Chuck. 811 tubes are not, but hey, I was talking to a guy, he ran that thing, he brutalized that thing for how many years before he torched them? Long time before he torched them. Definitely not as hardy as the 3500s, but yeah, 820 new. So that ain't bad, you know what I mean? For a decent amplifier. So I don't know, it's a tough call. It's not that hard. Even if you don't work and you're afraid to work on them yourself, find someone that'll work on one for you. I know someone in Connecticut. I could call him up and say, hey, mind if I bring this down to you, and you can, I'll pick up whatever you need. I'll order the parts, and shoot, man, he'd slap that sucker together for me, you know. So, all right, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys later. Oh, yeah, it's all about the antenna, Joe. It's all about the antenna. I'm a big antenna person. It is the best bang for the buck that you can spend. Now, some people don't have the room I have, and I don't have a lot of room. I'm only on 2 acres of land. But it's all about the antenna. So, cheap. Like I said, I went from having to run what I used to do on 400 watts or more, 400 to 700, on 40 meters, I can do on 70 to 100 now. No joke, just because of the antenna. So the antenna is where you put your money. And so you're talking $800 and something for an amplifier, right? I've got a 100-watt radio sitting right in front of me. So take that into consideration. 500-foot spool of wire is about $33, $36. 2 SO239s. Approximately $20 worth of RG11. Coax, that's a given. You got to get coax to the antenna, regardless of what antenna it is, so that's a moot point. And about, $15 into a double pole, double throw switch, motor driven. About $15. So do the math, and now talk about spending $800 and something on an amplifier. Now I can do it without the amplifier. So there you go. No joke. No joke. So I figured I'd throw that out there. Catch you guys later. 7-3. I'm going to go up and get something to eat. Woohoo! Thanks for stopping by. Maybe back later. I don't know. Let you guys wrap it up. I'm going to go ahead and kick this on and just sign out the chat, and then we're gone. 7-3, guys. Good to see y'all.
1500L up, And that tuner works real well. I'm very surprised how well it works, because before, when I ran it, when I run the power through the old 10-tech, it would eat up some power, but now this seems to pass it right through without a heck of a lot of reduction in power. Go ahead, maybe 4 or 5 watts. You're going to get me in trouble. That was the inclination I wanted, but being that I'm a conservative and I have a wife with a great big baseball bat, I went the manual route.
And I don't believe that about your wife. She's a very nice lady.
Go ahead and say that again.
Thank you, Roger.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Oh, boy, do you know how to suck up, I'll tell you. But no, we're just going to have to play it by ear. And I was thinking of doing it today, but at 3 o'clock we got to go meet my daughter for dinner, lunch, or brunch, or whatever you call it. And then I'm going to come back and do some more DXing. There's a lot of DX on the other night on 40 meters. I mean, there was, I'm trying to think of the one kid who was in Qatar, and he was on, and we talked to him and a couple other guys in the Mideast. And it was real neat on 40 meters, but you had to run a little bit of power to get to them, right? Well, the new amplifier probably won't go over the legal limit for sure. The guy who looked at all the pictures I sent him for the 8410, he says, "What's wrong with your amplifier?" I said, "Why?" He says, "You don't have it at 1500 watts plus." I said, "I want the tubes to last a while, bud." Yeah, I'll get it right. Force CX 1500B is not too bad, but it is what it is, if you know what I mean. And when Array Solutions did the testing on this, both tubes test out great, so he's got a lot of years left. But these tubes are so darn expensive.